Hey there everybody, Scotia here, and last night we got our first look at Tekken 8, and it looks amazing. So the fact we even got Tekken 8 last night is still shocking to me. I was not expecting it at all. I know a lot of people weren't expecting it. But yeah, the game is just looking incredible. Like, it's so good to finally just have another Tekken that just is so impressive visually. Feels like it's been a long time, but thinking about it, it was only really Tekken 7 that I think was the only game that I kind of like just didn't look that great visually. And I still love Tekken 7. I think Tekken 7's a great game, and I've never always thought it looked bad, but seeing this trailer and seeing this gameplay really just kind of made me go like, oh yeah, like Tekken 7 really just did not look good. And yeah, like it's there's nothing really about it that kind of like is, that's not a bad thing. It's like Tekken 7's been Tekken 7 for so long now, and I've embraced it. I've enjoyed my time with the game. I enjoy it for what it is. But yeah, it's just good to get a new Tekken game that just right out of the gate is like, wow, like this is just so visually impressive. But yeah, right out of the gate, we've got our first two characters confirmed. Well, I guess technically one, because we already got Kazuya confirmed from the teaser at EVO, but I'll count it as both being revealed now. But we've got our first look at Kazuya Mishima and Jin Kazama, and both are looking great. I mean, it's just incredible, the level of fidelity in this game and just the extra things here and there, like the raindrops and the muscles. Like, they both look amazing. Even redesign-wise, like, Kazuya's kind of mostly the same, I feel. Like, obviously he has a different pattern on his white karate pants, but Jin to me stands out a bit more. I don't know why, but I just really like the kind of like flowery pattern on his pants. I know he's always kind of had the flaming, super late 90s flaming pattern on his pants, but yeah, I think this looks good. I like the white on it. I think it really stands out. Kind of gives me a vibe of his kind of alternate look I think he had in Tekken 5, where it was white instead of red. But yeah, speaking of Jin and Tekken in general, it's nice to finally have a new fighting game, where right out the gate, my favourite character and my main is just confirmed straight away. I think I've said before in other videos that Jin is my favourite Tekken character, like, of all time. I love him. 3 was my entry into the series, which I imagine is the case for quite a lot of people, because 3 was really a very popular game back on the PlayStation 1. So yeah, I've always been a fan of Jin, and in that sense, I've never had to worry with Tekken, because, Jin has never missed a game, since his debut. So yeah, like, it's just nice, because if you've seen my Street Fighter videos, you'll know that, getting characters I like is not something that happens often with that series. So, I'm glad at least for one series, the character I like the most is like one of the most popular. Like, it's rare, but it is nice. So outside of the trailer itself, all we really know about the game so far is from a PlayStation blog done by Harada, where he kind of just went over a little bit, like very, very briefly about the game and kind of like what it's about and what the trailer's about. And he says in this PlayStation blog that this trailer is actually a scene from the story mode that they've kind of like cut out and taken to make it into a trailer, which I think is a good choice. The story is obviously going to be based around Jin versus Kazuya, as Tekken 7 was based around Heihachi versus Kazuya, so that makes sense. Still though, we've got a confirmation that Tekken 8 will likely have a story mode at least similar in concept to Tekken 7's. There might be some other, form around it. It might take another form, but basically at the moment kind of seems like it's going to be the same as Tekken 7's was. I hope it's at least better than Tekken 7's. I've said before, I thought Tekken 7's story mode was awful. I hated it. So I hope, at least 8's better. I think already I'm more interested in this story because, as I said earlier, Jin's my favourite character. I got into the series with 3. So Jin versus Kazuya is a concept that I've already got more interest in. Like, I liked the story of, Heihachi and Kazuya that had been going from Tekken 1. But yeah, just more interest in general because, Jin's involved and all that. But yeah, I just hope the story's at least, marginally better than Tekken 7's. Outside of that, though, there's really not that much else to go off. Like, it was a really good trailer, and everybody's been losing their minds, and like rightfully so. I mean, it looks phenomenal. But there's nothing else really to go off. The only other thing I can kind of mention is a theory I kind of have. Well, it's not my theory. I think a lot of people have been thinking the same thing. But it's about Jin at the end of the trailer and what looks like his rage art or his super, whatever they're going to call supers in this new game. It might not be rage arts. But at the end of the trailer, when Jin does his rage art or his super or whatever, he briefly turns into Devil Jin and doesn't move. And that's very interesting for one main reason, and that main reason is that Jin has never in Tekken incorporated anything from Devil Jin in his moveset. Like, ever since Tekken 5, it has been you have Jin and you have Devil Jin. They are two separate characters. They play completely differently, two separate movesets. Devil Jin never took anything from Jin, and Jin never took anything from Devil Jin. Like, they were two clear characters, and the story reason for that was because Jin basically hadn't gained control of the Devil Jin yet. Like, in all of its story appearances, whenever Jin would become Devil Jin, Jin, it was always kind of involuntary. You know, like it would be some traumatic moment, like when Heihachi betrays him at the end of Tekken 3, or, you know, some big emotional moment when Jin defeats Heihachi and Kazuya in 4. You know, he'll just randomly turn into Devil Jin and then he'll fly off. So it's never been something that Jin has been able to control. But it looks like, to me, this is just my guess, but it looks like Jin being able to use, well, at least looks like partially using it to me. I don't know if I'm accurate with that, but I mean, the fact he only has like one Devil Angel wing makes me think that he's either only purposely using some of it, or he can only control some of it. But yeah, either way, it does look like that Jin is controlling the Devil Gene, or is on his way to controlling the Devil Gene, which is a big thing. Like, that's never, like I said, that's never really been a thing. Like, Jin has always been Jin. Do I think this deconfirms Devil Jin? No. I've seen some people say that. I think the main reason for that is because clearly in the trailer, when it shows them fighting, Jin still plays like Jin. Like, he wasn't doing any Devil Jin stuff within the actual gameplay that we saw. Of course, that could change. Of course, that could absolutely be something that is different in the actual game that we haven't seen yet. But at the moment, it does look like Jin is still Jin, except for his super. So I think we'll probably still get Devil Jin as his own character. Am I bothered about it? Not really. I mean, I've never really been a big Devil Jin player, but I have no problem with him making it in, because at least, you know, they play differently. But if Jin is now sort of like gaining control of the Devil Gene, like I said, I don't think there's any reason to not have Devil Jin as his own separate character, but I think the reasons for Devil Jin being his own character are kind of like going down a bit, because, you know, one of the big, like I said, the big reason was because Jin couldn't control it. So that was why it was kind of two different things. But, you know, we'll have to see what happens there. Because, like, even with the roster now, like, I'm honestly kind of good. Like, there's no one really that in particular I strongly want. Like, of course, there are characters I would like to see. I mean, I would love to see Mokujin come back. He's always been a favorite of mine. Always been a fan of King and Armor King. Would love if they come back. But, like, I don't need them in the base roster. Like, I'm not like, you know, this character has to be in the game day one. Like, I have Jin, so I'm happy now. Like, I would love it if those characters came eventually, whether it was through DLC or, you know, if they were in the base roster, then that's great. But, like, there's no one really left at the moment. Like, the only other character I can maybe think of is Steve. And I like Steve, but I only just really main him. Like, I don't particularly have a strong love for him like I love Jin. I mean, yeah, sure, it'd be great if he made it, but, like, I'm not going to be heartbroken if he doesn't. So, yeah, like, it's kind of weird for, like, the first time in a long time to just kind of be, like, set with the game's roster, like, straight away. Like, there's really no one that I'm desperate to make it. Like I said, like, there's characters I would love to see, but whether they're base roster or if they're DLC, like, it doesn't really matter to me if they don't make it or not, or if they're not in the game straight away. But yeah, like, it's just kind of weird to be in that position for once. But yeah, I'm going to leave things here. Like I said, nothing else to really talk about. I mean, there'll be plenty of time for all that stuff once we see more of the game. Of course, I'll do updates on it as we get new info whenever that happens. But yeah, I'm pretty excited. I mean, I think at the moment, I'm still doing the Street Fighter What Happened Ins, because obviously I think Street Fighter 6 will probably be coming out before Tekken 8 does. But once those are out of the way, I will probably start moving on to Tekken, because I've kind of been wanting to do Tekken, you know, What Happened Ins for a while now. And kind of this is the perfect reason to, but I don't want to balance two series at the same time. I think that would kind of get messy. So I'm just going to focus on Street Fighter for now, and then once that's out of the way, I'll definitely move on to Tekken. I think by that point, we'll probably have more of a frequent marketing schedule for Tekken 8 kind of at that point. I think at this point, we're probably not going to hear anything about this game for, I would say, at least maybe TGAs at the earliest, the Game Awards, maybe even next year, maybe Evo Japan. But yeah, that's it really. Just very excited. The game looks amazing. Can't wait to see more. So happy Jin's already confirmed, but like I said, was not in any doubt about that. So yeah, that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and I will see you all later. Bye.
We await your return, warrior.